Hey, so let's find out if this is really the only video that you will ever need when it comes to comparing sample libraries. In my experience, there is just one reason why it makes sense to compare sample libraries. And this would of course be the budget. But then again, not. Let me explain. So how many times have you purchased something and later on not really regret it, but think it wasn't really like worth the hype? So there may be one psychological reason. Your energy level, your mood, your body chemicals, your attitude or whatever change all the time and therefore also influence a decision. And every sample library got its pros and cons. And now since you got a library, you're experiencing also the cons firsthand. And we humans tend to pick out all the negative stuff first. So if you got a new library, try to focus on the pros first and see how you can make the cons work. It happened many times to me that I blamed my lack of knowledge on the library, meaning I thought that there is something the library can't do when it was really me not understanding how I could make something work. There is also another reason, but before we get to that, I want to make a quick announcement. My trailer music course is available in early access mode right now. This means you can get it to a way lower price, and I also have a few more weeks to finish the final bits. If you are interested, check the video description below, and also thank you so much Nick Phoenix for this absolutely awesome testimonial. I really appreciate it. Okay, back to topic and reason number 2. We always want what we don't have or can't have. You probably know this. You and your buddy go to a restaurant, someone orders pizza, someone orders burger, you order pizza, suddenly you get your pizza, and you think about if it would have been better to go with a burger. So I'm aware that most of this haven't been really helpful, but I just want you to understand that there are so many factors that influence our behavior on what to get or not to get. Why we think so much to finally make a decision. So keep in mind that this is an ongoing process. It's a development. You will get better at finding out if a library is really worth getting. Then again, you may find a library that you already own for like 5 years will suddenly become your most favorite string library. Maybe because of an update, maybe because it blends absolutely amazing with the newer library that you got. Another reason why it doesn't make sense to compare sample libraries is, and I'm pretty sure I may open a can of worms here, but don't let other composers influence you on what to get unless they have really solid facts. I mean, don't get me wrong, but there are many composers out there that just own one orchestral sample library. And of course, this library is the best they ever had, because they don't have any other library to compare it with. Maybe there's another one telling you that this is the best sample library they ever had because they were simply hyped by the advertising spot. Also, you may catch a post of someone having trouble with the customer support and therefore a sample library obviously sucks because they didn't receive a reply after like 10 minutes. Another, in my opinion, bad idea is to pay attention to people comparing isolated articulation samples of different sample libraries next to each other. I mean, again, you have to pay attention to the facts. Is it maybe a string library that has been developed really sloppy so you're not even able to create a simple staccato 16th note pattern? Or is it maybe, I'm sorry, comparing legato intervals next to each other? I mean, when did you ever hear a track that consisted out of one violin playing one legato interval? Yes, me neither. In my experience, it doesn't make sense to compare isolated samples at all, because to 99% of the time, you will use these samples within a composition. Also, I don't understand when people compare the sound of string libraries with other libraries, one being too dull, one being too bright, when it's not being used inside a sense-making composition. I mean, sorry for the rant here, but if it doesn't even make sense to mix instruments isolated, how can it make sense to compare sample libraries with this method? So to be a little bit more serious again here, but what I want to bring across, use your heart when it comes to pick your favorite sample library. Use your heart when it comes to pick the sound that you like, that you enjoy. I mean, there could be like 1,000 pros out there telling you that this is the best library you should get, that you can create the most awesome arrangements with this library, but it simply can happen that you don't feel comfortable by looking at the GUI or listening to the sounds, and that there is another one that is your favorite. It also doesn't matter even if all these 1,000 pros are right, because what is more important is that you feel inspired and triggered and happy to use something. And this is a decision that only you can take. Thanks for watching.